Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. While I'm working on a much larger project surrounding zombie media, I wanted to come on here and talk about one of my favorite things in The Last of Us Part 2. A very particular thing that I find really clever and effective when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2's storytelling. And that's the 1, 2, 3 of dream sequences we get throughout the course of Abby's part of the playthrough. Because the entirety of the game's narrative jumps back and forth in time, but it also shifts perception with the emotional state of the protagonist. We get dream sequences in both characters' arcs, but our dream sequences during Ellie's time in Seattle are straightforward flashbacks, whereas the pieces that break up Abby's days are a mix of flashbacks and dream sequences. The first of Abby's dream sequences is a lot more like Ellie's. It's a series of flashbacks that show us why Abby is where she is now, but it also sets up this 1, 2, 3 of dream sequences. And sets up the hospital hallway, the sound of the alarm, the door, the red light. Although this is a hallway we should recognize from Ellie's flashbacks and from our own playthrough of the first game. That means the hallway is where you as the player piece together Abby's involvement in this whole thing, or at least the place where it fully coalesces. After we've spent a day traversing Seattle with Abby, meeting Lev and Yara, and helping them escape, we get our second version of this sequence, where instead of being met with a surgery room, Abby opens the door into a forest, and Lev and Yara are strung up. And at the end of day 2, after successfully amputating Yara's arm and making some amends with Owen, we get the last version of this dream. She has no gun, she walks slowly, there's no red light, and in the room is just her dad, there, alive, smiling. It's a really simple progression of show don't tell. You don't notice the individual changes on your first playthrough, but they resonate regardless. The last dream in particular is so potent to me. I think most of us who have experienced a profound loss at some point have had that dream. And it doesn't say something about them as much as it does you, that you're healing, whether around their death or something else in your life. And especially after seeing this second dream, where Lev and Yara become intertwined in this trauma nightmare, they too are intertwined in that narrative of healing that allows Jerry to be safe and alive in the last dream. And the game does give us a glimpse of that positive surreality on Ellie's birthday with the launch tape. Her imagination is so strong, the lighting shifts and the camera shakes, so we can experience the magic she's experiencing, being transported to something truly otherworldly for an apocalypse dweller, the prospect of space, which also harkens back to Left Behind, when Riley conjures an arcade cabinet fighting game for Ellie. But these dreams aren't the only ways that The Last of Us Part 2 allows us to visually or auditorially empathize with our protagonists. The game uses a lot of clever tricks to show Ellie's deteriorating mental state, whether that's hearing Joel's voice instead of Tommy's at the aquarium, which again is literally a voice line from Troy Baker, seeing Abby and Lev instead of the Rattlers, and it is literally Abby and Lev's models for shifting to the Rattlers models. And the differences in Ellie's trauma flashback to Joel's actual death give us such a good view of how she still feels about the situation. The stairs are longer in the flashback than they are in real life. She spends much more time trying to get the door open in the flashback than in real life. And Ellie can hear Joel screaming her name in the flashback, which he never does in real life. Throughout the entirety of the story, both characters experience a high-pitched ringing in their ears, which we first hear during their initial traumatic losses. And whenever we hear that same ringing again, it signifies either a trigger of said event or a new trauma being formed. On top of this, the game camera can signify things about the protagonist, from the literal tunnel vision we get at the end of the game with Ellie, or how anytime you look down at a sizable drop as Abby, the camera lens almost pulls a dolly zoom. And it's not totally analogous here, but I feel like I have to mention the fact that when you go to the beach for the final fight between Abby and Ellie, you can find a corpse up on one of the pillars who has a fishtail braid that looks almost identical to Abby's, before finding her alive with that hair cut off. Fundamentally though, The Last of Us Part 2 is a game about empathy. I like to think of it as an empathy simulator, and there's no better way to portray it than to invite us so far into their heads our reality changes with them. These tricks are used in so many compelling ways, a lot of them depressing or terrifying, but there's something really commendable about the fact that these techniques are also used to show quiet beauty, and used to show growth. We see how the game uses split-second memories to showcase those extremities in the final fight. Ellie sees Joel's dying face, which gives her enough rage to fight against Abby, but seeing him on the night they reconcile gives her the courage to let Abby go. That's one of the things I love the most about The Last of Us Part 2, and why I keep coming back to it. Being able to function in extremes, but also function in subtleties. To create tragedy, but to find beauty within that, and despite it. And just as I've been recording this voiceover, I've been left with a kind of sobering notion about the conclusion. We're supposed to identify with these characters as we play them. We experience the story just over their shoulder. And so, what does it mean about Ellie, or about us, that the final shot of the game pulls her away farther than we've ever seen her? It's time for Ellie to experience her journey of healing, and it's time for us to experience ours. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said at the start, I'm working on a huge project right now that encompasses so many different parts of The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, George Romero films, Fallout. So if you're interested in me continuing to discuss zombie-related media, stay tuned. I have one more part coming out to the AGTube series that should be out pretty soon after this. With all that said, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to see more videos like this, maybe even put that bell on, get a notification every time I post. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.